Hello, ladies. Thank you for coming. My name is David Fulcher. Today's date is February 21st, 2019, and my password is pretzel. I want to talk to you about something that is dear to my heart that is crippling our nation, and that is hunger and homeless. Hunger doesn't have a password, a zip code, a birthday, but what it does not discriminate. And hunger affects many people across our nation. Here in Cincinnati, we are struggling with hunger due to the fact that a lot of people aren't able to find food on a daily basis. There's a nonprofit organization here in Cincinnati called the Free Store Food Bank. The Free Store Food Bank was brought upon in 1971 by a gentleman by the name of Frank Gerson. Frank was actually out having dinner, and this is Frank's story. Frank was out having dinner. During his dinner, he decided that when he got up to leave that he would bring his food with him to take it home. And as Frank was walking down the street, he noticed a man sitting on the side of the road next to a building, probably homeless, but he was sitting there and didn't have any food. So what does Frank do? Frank gives that gentleman his food, the leftovers that he had. And Frank decided from there, I'm going to do this every day. So how can I create something that is beneficial to Cincinnati by Frank doing this? So what does Frank do? Nonprofit organization gets started. It's called the Free Store Food Bank. The Free Store Food Bank feeds 1 to 4 meals a day to people in Cincinnati. The Free Store Food Bank is one of the largest food and services providers for children and their families in the greater Cincinnati, northern Kentucky, and southeast Indiana areas. They give 27 million meals annually to people who are less fortunate, men and women, and their children daily. So the city of Cincinnati, like I said, is struggling. So how do we, as a nation or a city, help those who are affected by not having the opportunity to have food and to, obviously, homeless? Statistics says by Free Store Food Bank that 1 in 4 families go to bed at night without a meal. Now, 1 in 4 families. Normally the families are a mom, a dad, brother and a sister, but there's probably some families out there that have 2 or 3 brothers and 2 or 3 sisters. So that family is struggling on a daily basis. Nationally, 1 in 8 families across the country are going to bed without a meal. But that's pretty tough. That's pretty tough to live with. So, when you talk about feeding our families, there's a lot of things that we have to do in the meantime. So what is that? How do we do that? So I asked myself, because it's so close to my heart, that there's a lot of donations that are given by a lot of companies that help the Free Store Food Bank, whether it's a grocery store, a church, a school, or even private donors. Now, not everybody comes to the Free Store Food Bank with food given, but some private donor may give cash. And that's pretty big because the cash goes a long way with purchasing food. I can remember one day I was at the Free Store Food Bank and I was helping them pack lunches for kids who didn't have any food for the weekend. And that day I was there, we actually packed 4,000 bags. 4,000 bags for these kids on the weekend. What happens is when those kids are leaving schools on Friday, they're taking home those bags full of canned goods that they get to take home with them for the weekend, which makes sure that those kids are having a full meal for the weekend, even though they're getting food during the week at school, but they're getting food from the Free Store Food Bank. And a lot of volunteers come in and help with the packing. Like I said, I did it. My family went and did it. It was a great time. We saw the benefit that was happening. So, what happens to the families that aren't getting those foods is by word of mouth. Passing it on, letting people know exactly what's going on. The Free Store Food Bank has done a whole lot over the years. Now by the Kurt Reiber, the president of the Free Store Food Bank, who is taking care of what's happening, is a spokesman around the country for the Taste of Hunger throughout our national events with the NFL. One thing that I like about what's going on with the Taste of Hunger is that we serve thousands and thousands of people on a daily basis. We raise millions of dollars to help hunger across the nation. So just think about this as you're sitting there. How can you help? Well, I've done it. Basically, go to the Free Store Food Bank, help disperse food, put it together. Even food pantries. Go in there feeding, helping people when they come in and standing in the food line, feeding them. What's nice about it is that every dollar donated helps 3 meals to one family or to one person. 3 meals. And that is from the Free Store Food Bank. So every dollar that you spend provides 3 meals. You can't go wrong there. So by me giving you this information and speaking to you today, I think it's important that we understand that how we can help those that are affected by homeless as well as hunger. Because I will tell you, nobody wants to go to bed without a meal. So I'm hoping that after you hearing this message that I'm giving you, that you can contribute by supporting the Free Store Food Bank. I want to thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. Thank you, and have a blessed day.